Hi.
Hey.
You've gone through a lot of different versions of yourself through the fitness journey.
Mm-hmm.
Could you walk me through the different versions of you and how you went from one version to the next to become like who you are today?
Oh, thank you for asking this question. I feel like it's a lot of identity shifts, which we all go through throughout our life, except sometimes I feel like the identity shift chooses you and you choose, and there's other times where you choose it. So through seasons of life, you can feel a calling of like, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. And that's what I felt within competing. It's like, it doesn't fill my heart. It's taking away from my life, my mental health, everything is just draining me. And even though I used to choose it, I'm now being shown that it's not for me anymore. So now your eyes are more open to, okay, what do I want to become? What identity do I want to create for myself? I'm not there yet, but now I get to choose that. And I feel like that's fitness for so many people, especially when you start out overweight, or even I started out anorexic and then competing. And so with fitness in general, you're able to choose the direction that you're going. And I feel like that's the same for life with an identity as well.
So you said sometimes you choose an identity or an identity chooses you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know the difference?
So this is from my experience in life. There will be, let's use competing. It's like I was in it for 6 years.
You're a competitive bodybuilder,
bodybuilder.
correct?
So
Okay.
I was competing in bodybuilding for 6 years. And then it drained me, where I felt like there was no spark within my journey of pursuing that goal anymore. But I was that identity already. But when something's already draining you, it's not filling your heart. So I don't think it's the identity for you, and life's calling you to something else. So therefore something else is choosing you. And then now you get to decide what that is at the same token. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And how in the fuck do you figure out what is choosing you now?
I feel like it's the beauty of life, though, because I feel like we can always look at so many different aspects and believe like, oh, this is choosing me, or I have a calling for this, or I have an interest for that, so it might as well be that, right? I feel like in the aspect of something else is choosing me, you also get a choice of what that may entail. With identity, in my belief, the identity is so vast. Like you can be one thing, but also be this and be that and be that. So I would love to ask you on your perspective on identity first, and what that question, or what identity is to you, what that looks like.
So for me, when it comes to identity, I think it's like what you feel internally.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about this on one of the other episodes where it's the idea of faking it till you make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of us, when we're trying on new identities, it can feel fake because we don't actually know if this thing's real. But to me, an identity is, do you know in the core of who you are that this is actually who you are? And it's okay if other people don't really know who you are yet, or know this new version of your identity, or are attached to an old identity version of you. But if you believe it, then I believe it's your identity. And that's the transition into the new one. Is that how you felt when you went from bodybuilding to the next thing? Did you have to fully believe in this new identity? Did you let it unfold over time? Was it a curiosity? What was this transition from bodybuilding identity to new identity?
I have a similar mindset on that. I feel like when you're starting any pursuit towards change, you don't necessarily embody it yet, but you're teaching yourself the habits to embody it. So you fake it till you make it. I agree with that, because in the beginning process, you don't really have proof that you are that thing yet. You have to create the proof through evidence, through time, and doing the thing. So you're faking it, but you're also practicing embodying it, which is the course of getting to that change. So for bodybuilding, it was creating a life. Like when you're changing identities, I think that our picture of what that new identity is so, it's a mystery, because it's always evolving, it's always changing. And you as a human, you're always changing as well. So it's easier for me, it was maybe not so much I want to become this other thing, but it was, I know I don't want to be this thing anymore. So whatever that is, I don't know, but I know I don't want this.
That's fascinating. So it's less about, it's less you know what you want, it's more you know what you don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where else has that shown up in your life?
Ooh, relationships. Big time.
Okay.
Big time. Relationships, dating. But I think the whole experience of dating and growing older within experiencing even friendships. And it's figuring out what you do not like, what you don't want in your aura or your life or your world, the mindsets, the energies that are going to be brought into you. So dating for sure, and friendships.
Yeah. Do you like make a list, or is it like after every date, do you make a list and be like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, or is it like when you meet somebody new, are you like, oh, they have one of these things that I don't want? Or is it just kind of like a feeling? Or
I
mindset?
would like to believe that as I grow older, I'll probably have more of a specific list. I don't. Like, I know so many people go home after dates and are like, have this list. It didn't match. I have a list that I look at for who I want in a partner, but my dating experience is so minimal that I'm just learning. And I feel like too, with a lot of dating, you're just getting to know the other human. The intention isn't necessarily always like, I'm going to marry you right now. It's like, who are you? It's always, who are you? In my belief, my intention going into any relationships or dating or friendship is less of what do I want from you and what am I trying to get out of this, more so who is this human that I'm speaking with and what is your story? Yeah. And that creates me to have a better image on you and our dynamic versus, do you match my list? Because your list is always going to change too.
Yeah, the list is it's always changing.
And the other part of that is, do I match for the list that I have? Am I the person that person would like to be with? Yeah.
Well, that's what's so interesting about whether it be dating, or I experience this a lot in work quite a bit, where every day we get new information, and we should be shifting our mind on every piece of information that comes into our mind, our energy field, or what have you. And what that causes is things that you once believed to be true may no longer be true because you received more information. It's not that you were wrong the first time. You were just operating off the information that you had. And now you have new information. So now you get to make new decisions. And I think with dating, that can come into play quite a bit, because you meet somebody, they might have a characteristic or a trait that you all of a sudden really love. Like, oh, I didn't know I would actually like this. Or here's something that was on my list. It's like, I actually don't care. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. For me, I used to date very type A women. Like, I wanted the type A go-getter crushing it. And it was just a chapter of my life where I thought that was what I wanted. And then I found that person, dated that person, knew it was not what I wanted anymore. And then you kind of just new information. So it allows for us to kind of shift.
Absolutely.
How do you think about new information coming into and it could be fitness, it could be work, it could be anything. Like, do you have a process for processing new information, or I don't know, just trying to kind of like always be evolving with life? And how do you evolve as quickly as life is feeding us information?
I think being optimistic is a big thing. So carrying the wisdom that you're taught and that you learn within any career, dating, whatever it is, carrying that with you, but not living by it all the time. So of course, having your boundaries, like understanding what your beliefs are, but being open to allowing them to change and grow as you grow and change. Something that on the type A, so I used to be very in my masculine, like full on masculine. And in my last relationship, I thought I needed to be that. He was extremely masculine, but I thought he wanted someone who pushed him just as hard as his friends and his business and all these things, right? And so throughout that breakup and learning in my past dating, between that breakup and now, I've realized that the man that I want is going to allow me to be in my feminine and allow me to express it. And I won't feel a need to be so masculine or be the one that's always pushing him, but allow space for vulnerability. So that's a belief that changed through time.
Yeah, that's such a good one. In you understanding that the man that you want, what he's looking for in a partner. I don't know if we all think about it that way. Like, who do I need to be to attract the person that I want in my life? That's
something I had to be very real with myself of. It's like, Danielle, you're not the person that's going to attract the right partner. And I knew that, but it also takes, you can know that and accept it and know that you aren't necessarily ready to change yet. I think sometimes we force change upon ourselves, and then that can lead us to rebel, or even in the wrong relationship as well. Because even though the person that you say you want, you're not ready to embody the change that you need in order to be in that relationship yet. And that is okay too, to accept where you're at, knowing that in time you're going to be able to conquer willingness to change.
How long did it take for you to change from realizing you needed to change in order to attract the partner that you wanted to actually being able to become that person?
So last year I was dating a man for like 3 months. I was a toxic human being. And so was he. I take my fault. And like we both had our things, right?
I love the humility.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, there's two to every side. Yeah, there's both stories. I knew that I was attracting him and men like him because of the human that I was being, and the ways that I was just going out, and my morals, and how I put myself and my needs to the side. And I think a good thing that I always ask myself is, when I go out by myself, or if I'm dressing nice, am I doing it for me, or am I doing it for attention? And if I'm doing it for attention, I know exactly where my mind's at. And so it's just reflecting. And I don't always I think there is power in getting compliments and wanting, it's empowerment. It feels nice to receive those things, but are you doing it for those things solely, or are you doing it for you? If no one told you looked beautiful, if no one told you all these things, would you believe it yourself? And if the answer is no, then you're never going to believe it truly if someone else tells you in the first place.
Do you believe it now?
I do now.
Yeah. I love that.
It takes time though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good mindset though, where doing it for you versus doing it for somebody else. And I think we do that a lot in our lives throughout. Yeah. We're always, it's that seeking external validation.
Do you find that it's in your work space more as a man?
I think so. I think, and this is just for me, I find myself almost needing some sort of validation in order to feel like I'm doing the right thing. And I think I do think it's somewhat helpful in that when you're validated, you're doing the right thing. It's good to know you're doing the right thing, because we all know like work's really hard, and the validation can come in the form of money, salary, new clients, building a business. So the validation is important, but I also think you need to be doing it for a more internal reason. Like that's the people who are really, really successful are doing it because they just believe it's the right thing, even if there hasn't been that piece of validation yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say it comes up quite a bit in work though, especially for men. To your point, we hold so much value in the work that we do, and a lot of it kind of defines who we are. And that's a lot because we're, bred to be providers, and that's how a lot of us want to show up in the world, and that's how a lot of us are valued, or feel valued, is what's our ability to provide.
How did you distinguish the two between it being your validation? Have you ever been in a spot where validation is you're looking for it and seeking it more than you think you should, or more than you'd like to?
I think validation comes up a lot for me when I'm doing a thing that I know isn't true to me. Because if it's true to me, I don't actually care about the validation. If it's not true to me, I seek the validation to prove internally that I should still be doing the thing, because I'm getting validated. I'm being rewarded monetarily or whatever, versus just showing up and doing it for me.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. How's that showing up for you in the world? I would imagine it shows up a lot in the world of fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would say it shows up the most being an online coach and social media. And so I've realized, and I'm definitely in a big season, I've recognized this, of understanding my relationship with social media, because I use it that's my only way of leads at the moment, which is amazing. But I also recognize that there is, when you consume so much, you're altering like your own eyes and your viewpoints of the world, your viewpoints of yourself, comparison, whatever it is. I believe that even the strongest woman could be on social media and still underliningly compare herself, whether it be a physique or progression or leads or clients, whatever it is. So I definitely struggle with it from time to time within the aspect of social media.
Yeah. Do you feel that you're able to be authentically you on social, or have you had to create somewhat of a character?
This is so good.
That has allowed for your social media to be as successful as it is.
Ooh, okay. I'll tell you what I'm struggling with now and also the backstory.
All right.
So the backstory, my social media blew up. I got a lot of followers when I was posting reels of more so my body, like not really anything coaching, just like attention, likes, and got followers. Business was, trash. And I'm like, okay, well, something has to change. Also, it wasn't just aligning with who I am. I'm not someone who wants to just post her body all the time, right? And so as I changed that, and now I'm more of a coach figure, my engagement in terms of likes and all those things, the validation went way down and goes way down when I post something like my body versus, or my a talking reel versus my body.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I struggle with now, and this is, I've never told anyone this, is when I meet someone, like someone that I'm interested in, and they follow me on Instagram, I wonder what they see and what they think when I post something like a talking head where it's me coaching, but it's not the usual hot body on Instagram. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've never spoken about that, but that is something that definitely crosses my mind.
Do you want some initial feedback?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
When I first found you on social, and to your point, like one of the talking heads, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Talking head?
Yep.
It was, oh, she's really smart. Like that was my initial reaction. So I think from my point of view, and maybe this is a piece of validation, is you notice the layers of a human that you are. And it's not so much like a one-layered human. It's like, oh, there's a lot of depth here, and there's a lot of intelligence behind all of this. So that's my perception of engaging with you on social.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
That helped me. I feel lighter.
Look at that.
Answers
solving problems right now.
Yes, here we are. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah.
My goal for myself is to not think, to just share what comes in my head and education, just my mind. The blocking point is me overthinking about what does the person on the other side, not my lead, but the potential man or whoever it is, think about me.
Yeah.
Which is so out of what I want to embody.
Right.
But it's what I'm working through.
Yeah. We're all working through something.
Yeah.
What do you think, or what's been your process for going from I care a lot about these things to I care a lot less? How have you learned to care less and just be more you?
Journaling. So journaling about what I care about now, or what is consuming my mind, and what I don't want to consume my mind, and giving myself time. So being aware. Awareness is the first step, and acceptance. This is where I'm at. This is how I feel. This is what I think. I don't want to be here, but it's not going to change in one night. It's going to change through time. So I literally give myself, I'm like 2 weeks. Just let yourself work through it every single day. Tell yourself what really matters, even if you are still feeling the pull to look at the thing that doesn't.
I know that's now the second time that you've mentioned when you do reflections, you think of the thing that you don't want. And I don't know, I guess I haven't thought about that all that much. Is there a reason you gravitate more towards here are the things I don't want versus here's a future that I believe is a reality and I just want to go live in that reality?
It's a very good question. So on my therapy call earlier this year, she asked me, she was like, if you could create the place that you're running towards, like whatever that version of life is, what is it? And I told her that I've been running away from things for so long that I don't even know what I'm running towards anymore. And so I think it's something that that's been the process of my mind and how I work through things, because it was instilled in me through my own actions. It wasn't like my parents didn't teach me that, but that's how I operated for so long that now that's just the process that I go through, is where I'm at, what I don't want, and then creating what I do want through time. So I also feel like when I'm in a place of I don't want this, but I'm here, it's hard to see outside that box for me. I feel I'm sheltered in a box in a sense. So stepping away or getting outside that room takes time and action, where you can actually understand what the abundance of what creativity and what you can create and where life can take you.
So you just don't want to be put in a box.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever dealt with depression or anxiety?
mean, not clinically. So
Well, me neither, but I like to. Yeah.
I would definitely say I have, though, in many ways. I mean, even last month, so the month of July, I felt a lot of anxiety to the point where I like couldn't even go to the gym anymore.
Wow.
And not go to the gym in the sense of I didn't have the energy to go to the gym. Everything hurt. It was like my nervous system was so turned up, which to me would be anxiety, that the gym felt very uncomfortable. No matter what I tried to do, kind of just hurt my body. And so, yeah, I would say for most of July, I felt quite anxious. And it was a lot of just awareness around feeling that way and what it meant and why it got there. And the way I was living my life, how did I allow for anxiety to creep in? That's the way I look at it. Is like, what did I do that allowed for this to enter my system?
Did you find out how?
A lot of it was not taking enough time for spaciousness. I spent too much time work. Like I would look at my calendar, and I've even done it to even the first 2 days of this week, where I wake up at 6 and I don't stop until 11 p.m. Pretty much every moment of every day is scheduled for something. And that can be friends, it can be work, but it's just like schedule. And what I had noticed when my anxiety creeped up very heavily, the thing that had been taken out of my schedule was 2-hour-long walks, where a lot of times I would just walk for 2 hours and I would talk to ChatGPT the whole time. And I would just process every thought that I had in my head out of my system. And by the end of those 2 hours, I was like, oh, I feel lighter. I feel good. And I got a little fitness, I got movement, I got sun, I got to basically have a conversation with something.
Yeah.
Call it something for right now. And it just made me feel really light. And that was the thing that I think kept me the most grounded in who I was, and that was what fell out of my lifestyle the most.
That makes a lot of sense.
Do you have anything that you do on, I don't know, a daily basis, a weekly basis, like a thing that you have to check in with and keep a routine on in order for you to stay the most grounded?
I do my walks every single day.
Okay.
Every evening, definitely a walk. Every morning, a walk. I would say mornings are my time. When I get up until around 8, then I'll start work. But it's my time for whatever. Usually that is some sort of fitness, like getting outside, sunlight in my eyes, watching the sunrise. Or meditation. So it's something that allows me to be like, hey, you're a human living on this earth and you're present here. You're nowhere else. You're not online, you're not on a screen. So it grounds me. And then I'll go into my work. So I'm able to give the energy out that I first gave myself. A big thing that I go through within my morning routine is, what energy do I want to receive today? That means I have to create it inside of myself first. So if I'm feeling anxious or jittery or got so much to do on my list and I don't feel like I'm not embodying like the amazing energy that I want to, how can I create that first for me in order to receive it and also give it out?
Okay. What would you do? You wake up and you're like, man, I got this crazy busy day.
Yeah.
My schedule's full.
Yeah.
I feel super anxious. What's Danielle doing?
Still walking. She still goes on a walk. She's just walking all day. I go on my walk and I'm no music ever. Walking, looking out in far distances to get my eyes. I love to use far distances to strengthen my eyes, but it also is a way to like be present. So, because I'm on a screen all day, so I'm like looking so close. And so doing things that are outside of the norm of what I'm going to do in my day-to-day hours per se. And then dancing, putting on a song. Yeah, you got to dance. At least if I'm like, I don't know if, I feel like men might have I think dancing's great for anyone. But for me and for my females listening, like just go put on a song and dance. Like as you get ready, make yourself feel good. Like take a shower, get your hygiene, do your hair, whatever it is, make yourself feel good. You deserve to. And then dance and then go about your day. Yeah.
As a man who never wanted to dance, I didn't dance for most of my life. I started dancing about 4 months ago. And it changed a lot of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of dancing?
I mean, it went from I am so nervous to do any dancing to I will go to like dance parties, Daybreaker, things like that, and dance very freely and feel great. And to your point, it's just like moving the body. And dance is a very feminine movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for men, it is great to feel empowered in that.
I think there's empowerment when a man or female can go in both the feminine and the masculine.
Mm-hmm.
There's empowerment in both. And so I'm glad that you are dancing because it is a way to just feel.
Yeah.
It's a way to move.
Yeah. We have to be in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We have to kind of...
Freedom.
Yeah. The freedom within our body, and also like that freedom to, the saying, dance like nobody's watching.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so good when you dance like nobody's watching.
It's crazy too, because you can embody that same principle with everything you do. Like if you were just to live as if no one's watching, how different would you live life?
Oh, that is such a good question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to live life like nobody's watching, what are you doing differently?
Oh. This is one. So I'm going to force myself to break down everything. That's a question that I'm going to go home and journal. Because that's something that I think will take all of us humans to the next level of just loving life. Is just to be able to not think or compare or over analyze what someone else is saying of you. Or the validation that we we're just talking about. I would say for your question, I can definitely say within social media, just talking and posting, I would say, oh, this is a big one. When I go to the gym, I guess because I embody a coach and want to look the part, and I spent all of last year being overweight and just knowing that. So every day I went to the gym last year, I was like, oh my gosh, people think I'm fat. And everyone thinks I'm fat. Everyone's going to tell me or think in their head that I gained weight so fast and like, look at her now. And so sometimes I still struggle with that identity or the thought process that identity carried. And it still lingers in my mind sometimes where I have to go to myself and say, hey, no, you're embodying someone like the person that you are. You're embodying who you are today, not who you used to be.
Why do you think you still hold on to that? Given like the physical shape that you're in now, why would you still hold on to this story of the person you were last year?
Good question. The surface, I'm not going to give you a surface level answer. I think part of it, the deep answer would be, I think that a lot of us hold on to past identities because we held on for so long that releasing it means we have to say goodbye. And so what I like to think about within that process is it's more so you have to tell the person that, hey, I still like your past self, like I have love for you. I don't need you anymore. And so it's a lot of shadow work. That's what I like to think about. And that's the way that I go about it is shadow work. Yeah. Have you done shadow work?
A long time ago, and it was so hard.
Oh yeah.
It was so hard. So now, okay, so you want to release an old identity. You do it through shadow work. Teach me. What is shadow work?
So I'll use what we were just talking about with me being overweight last year.
Yep.
So you carried around this identity that you fought all for so long, right? And a lot of us have that, whether it be like, I used to be depressed all the time, or I was always overweight, or whatever it is, right? You were carrying around an identity that you didn't want to be, but you stayed there for a while, that you were fighting yourself every single day for so long that person became you, right? And then you changed, but you still see yourself as the past version that you were.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that means in the way that the answers that I got from shadow work is the only reason why I was holding on to that identity was because I hated her, my past self, for so long that she needed love. And the only love that she could receive was from who I am today. So me going back and sitting with her, I do like a lot of physical. I imagine myself sitting with her and having a conversation like, hey, you did it. You changed. You did the work. You're not stuck in this body anymore. We did it. And I love you, but it's now time to say goodbye type thing. And letting myself, like, when the thoughts come up, saying, no, I'm not subscribing to this, I already healed through it. So the more that you pay attention to certain thoughts, the more that they're going to consume your mind or come back, right? So if you just do the shadow work and then you're going to still have to go through the thought process of saying, I'm not subscribing to these thoughts anymore. So I'm going to go about my day. And that way you can like shove them to the side. You already worked through it, shove them to the side and live as the human that you are today. So those decrease over time.
I love that. I love your recognition of, and I think this is a really important point that you made, which is these thoughts will still come up. And I think for a lot of us, when a thought comes in that we thought we got rid of, we kind of feel like, oh, maybe I haven't done all the work. Maybe the work's not complete, or maybe I'm still holding on to this person. And it's also just understanding that these thoughts will come up. And it's like, what do we decide to do with those thoughts? Do we take action on them? Do we let them dwell? Do we move through them and just say, hey, I recognize you're a thought and I'm cool. Like, I'm going to put you over here and I'm going to move on with my life. It's the whole, we have 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of them are thoughts that we thought yesterday. And so we have to move. Like, it's okay that we're going to have thoughts that we thought. I'm saying thought a lot.
I'm on the same page. I'm hearing you.
I'm saying it's okay that we have thoughts that we felt we processed through, because it's just how our brains work. And it's what we decide to do when it comes into our systems that we kind of allows us to be somebody different.
I agree. I think the same thing goes for breakups heavily. I think all of us can test if you go through a breakup, you're 3 months in and then you're a year in, and sometimes you have these thoughts or these things that come about like, wait a sec, like, why am I emotional or sad over this one thing that I thought I worked through years ago? It's like sometimes those thoughts come back because something or someone else triggered it, and you just realize like, oh, I need to work through this again. That doesn't mean that you're not healed, and it doesn't mean that you took steps back. It just means that you're learning. You're a human. You got a brain, and the brain's just copying and pasting. Yeah. I like to utilize like the logic. Like logic tells me that it's just a thought. Emotional me feels like I need to suppress in it sometimes. Which one is going to actually be the right choice? Probably the logic.
Yeah. Well, and something else that you said was you just worked through the process, which I think a lot of us, we avoid it. It's to your point, a breakup, and we avoid feeling sad. But what happens is when you just say, I'm going to be really sad over this breakup, you tend to process it pretty fast because you're not pushing those feelings off to the side. You're saying, no, I'm going to feel these things, and it's going to be really hard. And once I feel it, I kind of just move through it.
I think that a lot of the times, I know for me, I carried so much anger only because I wasn't working through things. I was holding it. So when I was going through my breakup, there was a time of resentment and anger towards the other person, myself, the relationship, all these things, right? A lot of that was because I was just holding the box of this sucks, but I wasn't allowing myself to like go in and like, oh, okay, this is what it actually was. And it did suck, but I'm not going to hold on to this anymore because I don't want it to carry me. And so you just work through it, you toss it out of the box like a little file. And then you got to work through it. The only reason why we carry so much anger or resentment is because we're not working through it. We're just carrying it with us. It's like a purse.
A very full purse.
A very full purse. How full do you want it to be?
Yeah. So when you are working through something, you mentioned journaling, you mentioned kind of sitting with a past version of you, letting them know it's okay. Is there anything else that you do that just helps you go from I'm angry about this breakup to I feel fine?
Yes. So I always try to think about their version of the story and their shoes, and what about their life affected them to not love me or serve the relationship in the ways that maybe even they wanted, but I also wanted. So my past relationship, I knew that his childhood growing up was very hard for him. So he also had to learn how to give love and receive love. And that may be me helping him along the way, but it might look like I get hurt and he gets hurt throughout the process because I'm not the final woman for him. But that's just acceptance and love as well, because even though he had to learn, I also had to learn, and that was a stepping stone in my journey too. So I think it's also looking at things through the lens of love and choosing to look at things through the lens of love as well.
Yeah. What do you think of unconditional love?
I think we're all learning to, I take that back. I'd like to think that we all want to give that and receive that. I think that most of us try our best, and that it's a learning process. And the only way to really give unconditional love is by living through experience and challenging yourself to look through the lens of love. I think a lot of times through breakups, especially in dating, it can be easy to like be hard, you know, like have a hard heart, like put a shell over it, like don't give love, everyone, you know. But in reality, it's like, what do you actually want? You want to receive love. Okay, you're gonna have to give love. You're gonna have to be vulnerable because you want to receive vulnerability. What you want to receive, you have to first give as well and create for yourself. And with all that, there's going to be selfishness because, of course, the person that we love and the things that we don't want to give away or we don't want to have come back and hurt us. But unconditional love is learned through time, and it's learned through also loving yourself first.
Mm. How long did it take you to feel like you fully loved yourself? Or like what, or not how long, what point of your life did you feel like you fully loved yourself? Or do you not feel that way today?
This year, for sure. I would say over probably in June is when I first, yeah.
This is new.
Oh, yeah. Very new. And, you know, it's all, for all of us, it's always you up and down. And you learn that, hey, I have love for, at first it was my body. A body was a big thing. Then I had love for my body. And now it's like, okay, but I don't have love for my mind. How do I correlate that? And then it's like, okay, well, I don't have love for this aspect of my life. How do I correlate that? So I feel like it's always an evolving like flower in a sense. And so but this year for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So body, mind, is there a piece of yourself that you're still learning to love?
I would say the answer is yes, because the way I like to look at it, if I was able to live as freely as I want, it's a reflection because I have so much love and respect for myself. And so the areas of me having like blockages per se, if there's a fear of me letting that blockage go or that shell down or whatever it is, that wall down, it's because I don't respect that area of myself or that piece of myself or have love for it enough to allow myself to freely live through it. Does that make sense? Yeah. That was a very vague way. That was a very vague.
What part of your life do you want to feel more free in or be more freely you?
My career, I would say.
Okay.
I often struggle with how do I need to, not necessarily look, but figure wise, like what do I need to, when someone sees me, what do they need to see? Or how do I need to act in order for them to view me in the capacity that I want?
How do you want people to see you?
So it used to be this year, I worked through this, but I used to be a person who wanted to be looked at as very assertive. Like, wow, she's an assertive boss
babe.
Yeah, she has it. And then I realized I was like, I pushed for that so hard that felt like I was performing all the time. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do calls. I felt burnt out with my job. And I was like, you don't have to perform anymore. You can just be you. And if that means that you're not assertive as you first wanted, that is okay, because your power isn't in someone else's assertiveness. It's in who you are today. So I think I was admiring so many assertive women, and I was like, I need to be that. And then I realized, like, just be yourself. That'd be the big thing.
Yeah. Have you ever read The Surrender Experiment? Okay. So The Surrender Experiment I read in December of last year, and it changed my whole life. And part of what it changed for me was wanting a certain thing and realizing that thing wasn't natural for me. And it was, as men, we're often taught, you have a vision and just go knock down every wall to make that vision become a reality. But at a certain point, there's also another path, which is, how about you just follow the path that the world is showing you? And if that path is being softer, being a feminine version of you, not the masculine version of you, is actually the part of you that feels the most embodied or the most naturally you, that's the path to follow.
What path are you following?
It's leaning into everything that feels like a full fuck yes. Like, I know the difference, and we all know the difference. As much as we can kind of say, we justify why we do certain things. And there are certain parts of my life that I justify right now. And there are other parts of my life that I know I'm leaning into that are the full fuck yes moments. And those are the parts that I'm surrendered to, in that this feels like the thing that I need to be doing for me. And it feels so natural and so easy. And there are other parts of my life that I'm still very resistant to changing, holding on to a past version of myself, the job title, the everything that comes along with it, building certain types of tech companies, all that, I still hold on to, of wanting it to be part of my story. And maybe part of the surrender is understanding that that's not part of my story anymore. That was a chapter, but that chapter might be complete.
Are there certain things that you're trying to chase within your surrender?
That would feel very non-surrendered.
I know. Like, wait a sec.
But the answer is probably yes. I hear this a lot, and maybe it's just our community around Austin, but a lot of people say, I want to just make money for being me. It's what a lot of people say. But there has to be a business behind it. There just needs to be. You don't see anybody who is successful for like just being them. Like, look at Kylie Jenner. Maybe a weird example, but she's just her, and she has $1 billion company. She built a business around being her. That is a wildly different version of being you than just thinking like, oh, I just show up and I'm me and I get paid for whatever. I don't know what that means. So I think the thing that I'm chasing is, how can I show up every day fully embodied in the highest version of myself while I know the bigger vision? It's all kind of building around. Like, what is the business that's being built behind the scenes for all this? So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm chasing with surrender, and surrendering to whatever happens. Yeah.
Because you first have to embody first. You have to embody before the business kind of goes around you. I feel with Kylie and for yourself, with all of us, if you look at our businesses, like, we are almost the brand as well. The people come to us, and then there's something else that they're looking for. So in the aspect of Kylie, like, she's the face, but she has something to sell and to offer. But it is, I think for social media especially, so many people just want to be there and sell nothing.
Yeah.
Just be known.
Just be a quote unquote influencer, which I think, from my understanding, that world is probably dead and gone.
I think it is. I was just thinking that as you're speaking. It's like, I think the influencer world, people, because that's the thing too. When you're an well, I don't know. I'm not an influencer, so I can't like.
I don't know. You might be.
So in my mind, though, with anyone who wants to sell anything or anyone who wants to make money just being themselves, eventually you want to have purpose, right? You want to be like, I'm purposeful for the world for this thing. If you're just yourself, you have purpose in who you are, but there's nothing that you're giving purpose out to. So I think that's a big thing of that trend, or whatever you want to call it, is eventually going to either evolve or die.
100%. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's where most people fall short in life, is they go through life and they don't realize that they're pursuing their purpose, or they're trying to figure out what their purpose is. Do you feel like yours is dialed?
I feel like purpose is always changing.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Dialed. That's a good word. I feel like I have more of a distinct version of purpose than most at this age, which I'm grateful for. And I do think that's a lot of the people around me. But I also feel like that's constantly changing and evolving. I'm grateful that I know what I want to do. I also know that it's not everything that I want to do. Yeah.
There's always more. There's always more. How'd you get to clarity on purpose?
I think internal reflection. Asking yourself, what do I like? What do I want to do? What do I want to give? I think today's world, it's very easy to want validation and to be seen as someone, or have, I'm going to use social media again as the example, like have the platform, the likes or anything like that. But you don't find purpose without giving something that you feel is special to you. And I think that's where people go wrong? It's like, what's special to you that you have interest in that you also want to give out?
Yeah. There's this fascinating, I don't want to call it concept because I think it's, I don't know, we'll call it concept just because I don't know
Why
words.
not? Our world.
That we all have a thing that we're just uniquely great at.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our purpose. Whatever that thing is, we're the only ones in the world that can do it. And it's a combination of who we are and our skill sets and what we do. What do you think that is for you? Like, what are you so uniquely good at that just only Danielle can do it?
I'm laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I know what I'm really good at. I don't know if I know other people are good at it too, but I know I'm really good at asking questions and listening.
You're very good at asking questions. That was one of the first things I noticed about you because I'm really good at asking questions. And I was like, damn it, why is this girl so good at asking questions? Like, I appreciated it. And it's like, I'm at my match.
Thank you. You are extremely good at asking questions for sure. I picked that up for sure. But exactly my point, like I am, but I know you are. So it's like, that's unique to us, but I'm not the only one. So I would say, but that's also something where I'm like, okay, I'm good at this thing, but I don't do it within my career. Like it's not my focus of a career. I do fitness and health coaching.
Do the questions help facilitate you to be a better coach?
Absolutely. So the answer is yes. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a combination of skill sets. Like for me, I'm really good at asking questions, and I'm obnoxiously good with numbers and data. So that's like a unique combination that uses left and right brain that creates a unique skill set within myself. And so I think for you, it could be asking questions, coaching, which a lot of coaches are good at asking questions, but yours, it's obviously unique to you.
I love the mental health aspect of things. My goal, not that you asked, but I'm just going to
hit me with it.
I really want to because I do a lot of changing the physique, but when you come to my program, a lot of it's the mind and habits, like most everything. And so it's really hard to get someone to sign on or come in with me if I'm just speaking a lot about the mindset side of things, but I love mental health coaching. So I'm working on how to create more of a business within what I do now.
How much of, let's call it physique change, is mental versus physical?
All of it. You could argue it's like, oh, well, what if I have to physically eat healthy? It's the mind that's behind what you're eating. Yeah. It's like that your mind makes the choice, which affects everything.
So how does I've been watching your content and I'm 20 pounds overweight. What do I need to think about in order to change my mind to achieve the health outcomes?
If we're not talking about someone who has a PCOS or anything that's very like medical, just someone who wants to lose 20 pounds, I would tell them they already know how to get fit. They're just constantly choosing the wrong choices, and they know what to choose are the right choices for a majority of people. A lot of us choose a lot of self-sabotaging choices throughout our day-to-day and make excuses for it, and those add up week to week, and that's why they're living the life 20 pounds overweight. We already know the answer. The reason why we hire coaches isn't necessarily for the program. It's because we want the person to help us get out of the hole.
Okay. So I'm self-sabotaging. I'm overweight, 20 pounds overweight. I want to lose it. Like, what do I then need to start to do? What do I need to do in order to not do the self-sabotaging tendencies other than hire a coach? Like, what could I just do on my own?
A lot of the internal reflection. Who are you today? What about yourself that you do not want to be? What habits and how are you going to get out of that? What are the habits that are going to help you get out of that hole? That is the hardest part. It's the awareness part. And then after that's the action part. That's where I was. And that's where I feel like everyone starts and struggles with. The people that lose weight and then gain it back, most of the time, it's only because their identity didn't change with them. They still see themselves as the past version. Their mind is still in the past version of them. So they're going to choose to act as if they are that past version where they gain all the weight back. They live as the person who's 20 pounds overweight and they believe I'm always going to be 20 pounds overweight. I'm always going to be overweight. I'm the fat friend. Your identity, you believe that. You're always going to be that.
So it's just identity shifting. Yeah.
That's the internal work that I love to do.
Yeah.
And the physique's just a reflection. Yeah.
So when you're doing coaching, it's just, you're mostly just helping people shift into an identity that feels true to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, well, people hire me for, I want to lose weight for the summer, you know. They know that when they come into it, that there's a lot more that I offer that's going to be more of the mental side of things. I don't think anyone hires a coach just for weight loss. I think they hire it for a lot deeper stuff, but the first tangible thing is weight loss. Losing weight is the most tangible journey I think anyone can go on. Yeah, but it's also the foundation of us seeing ourselves in a different light.
Right. So why would I come in, lose 20 pounds, and then why does my identity not shift? Why do I then go back to the old version of me? Why can't I believe that, oh, this lighter, happier, more fit version of me is me?
Laziness is a big one. There's a lot of effort you have to put into changing. You have to sacrifice a lot of excuses, but also sacrifice your friends are probably going to see you differently. Or there might be comments being made like, ooh, she's trying to eat healthy now. Oh, look at her making change. Like you have to take some of those, there's crumbs of everything that you're going to have to change your entire lifestyle around. It makes your life so much brighter. But when so much of your identity is going to change, it feels like you have to say goodbye. So a lot of it is just daunting for all of us. I think even with breakups, the same thing. It's daunting to go through the change.
Yeah.
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 It's easier to sit there and accept than it is to move.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, to what you've said is all the things that you don't want to be. And I wonder if through that process, it's like, I don't want to accept these friends in my life anymore. I don't want to accept receiving these comments, or just like, how does somebody shift from these are all the things that I don't want to show up in my life anymore, and these are the things that I do want to show up in my life anymore?
Awareness. I know I keep saying that, but it's the biggest thing. Like we were talking about earlier, I think a lot of people think that once they're in shape, they're not going to have the negative thoughts anymore. I'm literally 40 pounds down and I still go into my bathroom and I'll put on 5 different training outfits like, oh, damn, I'm just not feeling it today. And then go to the gym. I do some of the same things that I used to do, but I'm 45 pounds down. It's more so the acceptance of like, oh, I might still have bad days. I might still feel insecure at times. That doesn't mean that I have to soak myself in it and then now self-sabotage the entire process and go back to who I was. So a lot of it is just being aware of like, you're going to still struggle. You're still going to have friends that make comments. There's still going to have days where you feel like your past self. You're still going to have days where you just want to quit. That doesn't mean that you go back and quit. That means that you just keep on going.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love that. Because there's these people, there is, there's a group of people where it's kind of this idea of if you have one bad moment of a day, it shouldn't ruin your entire day. I think the same goes for a week. If you have one bad day, it shouldn't ruin your entire week. If we start looking at our lives in the span of like weeks and months, then we can start to understand it's that consistency where it's like, okay, you can have a bad Monday. You can have a bad Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But then if you have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you still had a great fucking week.
Yeah.
And it's how do we get ourselves out of allowing these micro moments that are self-doubt of not feeling worthy of whatever, not affect us in the future. It is just, this is a moment in time. It might be a minute, it might be an hour, it might be a day. But how do we just let it happen? Know that we feel this way, accept it, and then move on and have a great fucking rest of the day, week, whatever it is.
One thing that I was literally in my car yesterday and I came up with it in my mind. I made a video on it and I just need to press the post button. But I was speaking about how so many of us miss the forest for the trees. We look at one day or one decision or one mess up as a tree and we're like, oh my gosh, like everything's done with. Like we suck. And then it's like, wait, there's a whole forest of days or a whole forest of choices that or habits that make up everything else of your entire life. And like that's what's going to dictate your perspective, your week, your journey. And so it's choosing to look at the wider scope of things too. Zooming out.
Yeah. Is there a way, do you have any practices for somebody to zoom out? Or for yourself?
Number one thing I do is deep breathe. So getting the body calm, nervous system is just like deep breathing. We're here. Physically, we're right here. Reminding myself I'm just on a rock. Like, you know, like we're just doing the thing. We're all doing the thing. I know this helps a lot of people. Just the whole concept of if it won't matter in 5 years, don't let it like haunt you right now that bad or whatever it is. I more so try to use perspective on everything and realize like, right now might suck like in this moment, but in 4 hours I'll be fine. Like just like kind of talking to myself in the way that a logical mentor would talk to me, especially because I'm female and I can get emotional. No, but it's just like almost like putting on my like big girl cap and being like, okay, like this is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also a big thing that I like to do to take myself out of that is, for example, going to Swedish Hill and seeing you having conversation and it's like, oh wait, this is what life's about. Not the small detail mistake or bad decision or day.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, it's how much have you found that community, friends, other people have allowed you to either be more authentically yourself or keep you out of those bad days? Just how do you think about community and friends and the people that are closest to you?
So I use environment and community as one of my number one tools. I won't let myself work at home in the mornings for too many days in a row because I know for a fact my mental health, my mindset will be way down. And then I'll start to isolate and feel like I need to perform if I go see people. When in reality, if I just allowed myself to be more social, even a butterfly at times, like then I feel the energy that I want to receive. So I'm able to give it out as well. So a big thing is putting yourself in positions to be around, even if you're not friends with so many people, just be around people in general. So you can allow people to uplift you without you necessarily even trying, just by you being in an environment where it's uppity and happy and vibey. So your environment will always play a big role.
Yeah. Now you said being around people that uplift your energy so you can give. Mm-hmm. Do you think about receiving before giving? Or do you think about, I need to be the energy, and if I'm the energy, I'll get the energy?
Be the energy. Mm-hmm. You have to create it if you want to receive it. If you go into a shop and you're looking for people to give you, like coffee shop, and you're looking to get good vibes, but you're already in a bad mood, where's those good vibes going to come from? You can get all the good vibes, but you're in a bad mood. So like, they're just going to walk, you know? So you have to be the energy first. One thing that I tried to practice with myself is there's a line of performance of like, you can be the energy. That doesn't mean that you need to perform as someone who is very assertive or very this or very like, I'm having the best day ever, when it's like, dude, my morning sucked, but I'm so hyped to see you right now. Like, that's truth. You having the best day ever may be a lie, but the truth is that your morning sucked and you're happy to see the person, you know? So there's a line of performance and reality, but still creating the energy. Yeah.
Because when you do the performance, you can kind of feel that it's fake. It's like,
and then you're drained and you go home and like, oh, I've been performing all day, got zero work done. Performing, like, you're just drained. You're just not you. And that takes away from your soul.
It's a big difference.
Do you struggle with that?
I don't think I struggle with performance. No,
you don't seem like you would. You're one of the first people that I felt very welcomed by too. So I appreciate that. It's your energy.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you felt it.
Yeah.
It's similar to a lot of stuff that you've said, where I've wanted to always be the energy that I want to receive.
Mhm.
And a part of that was doing so much self-work where I feel my cup is overflowing with like self-love and joy and gratitude, where I'm not looking for anything from anybody. And I feel so complete as a human internally. I was like, oh, I can just
How'd you get
give
there?
it back. It was so I started on my self-work journey around 25, 26, and I'm 36 now. So it's been about 10 years of a lot of work. I've went through a really, really hard breakup that allowed me to reinvent myself as a man. So the breakup was so hard, it took me to zero, but I already had so many tools from all the self-work that I've been doing that I got to kind of reshape myself into who I wanted to be. And the other part was just surrendering to life, where that was reading the book, The Surrender Experiment, and just saying, okay, I'm going to go through life this way. This seems easier, because I was spending a lot of my life trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. And it started to become so hard. Everything was challenging. I was like, well, what if it didn't have to be that way? What if it could be another way? What if life could feel almost effortless and I could just flow through life? And that's where I've tried to be. And I think that's a lot of why people pick up on my energy the way that you do, is because I'm not searching for anything. I'm not seeking anything.
Can you explain what fitting a square peg in a round peg in
a square hole?
Yeah. One of those. What did that look like for you that you felt like wasn't aligning?
That for me was a lot of work related stuff. That was, I want to be perceived as X. And if I'm not being perceived as X, everything I was doing was only with that vision in line. It wasn't because I wanted to be the most helpful version I could be that day. It wasn't because I wanted to show up for my team in a certain way. It was because I wanted an outcome, which was, whether it be like a certain job title or a certain founder status or whatever it was. I was like, no, the only things I can work on have to lead to that thing. And what it caused me to do was just show up as kind of like a sheltered version of me, because I was so focused on just the outcome. I stopped focusing on the journey, which was showing up, being helpful, being a good person, supporting my team, helping other people win. That was the biggest thing for me. I started to find a ton of joy in helping other people win. And that has been a huge unlock for my life. I just want everybody around me to win and live their best life. And if I'm doing that, then I'm living a life very well lived. And it stopped focusing on me so much, and it started focusing on everybody else. That was really impactful for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It also brings better energy around you too, because again, you're creating it. If you have the intention of, you want everyone's success around you to elevate.
Yeah. I just want to be helpful.
Giving.
Yeah. And that's come back to bite me a little bit, where like I've wanted to be so helpful that I'm just helping all the time.
And
I'm like,
yes, people please.
Yeah. Kind of people pleasing, and that was an awareness for me of, I leaned so heavy into helping, where I was like, oh, I'm now feeling drained from helping so many people. And that was a people pleasing tendency. Now it's like, no, I hold myself to a very high value, and I can be helpful and still maintain my value. And I don't have to compromise my value to be a helpful people pleasing person. And so that was a really important shift, in my life.
What would you say your values are now that you've gone through all this self-work?
My values now are radiate good energy, be a good person, work incredibly hard, hold yourself to Olympian standards, help everybody that I can create their dream life, build their dream business. I love helping people build their dream business. It makes me so happy. I just like see a human and I see all that they can be. It's that thing that I'm naturally good at, where I'm like, I can see you and I know where you're going to be. And all of my being just wants to help you get there. It makes me so happy. And yeah, it's just, working incredibly hard, holding yourself to incredibly high standards, and being an incredibly good person. Radiate good energy, be joyful, be happy.
Do you ever ask yourself what you want more from life?
Oh, that's a good question. I do. And the key for me is knowing that I have enough and I want more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very different story of saying I want more because I'm lacking versus I want more because I just want more of life. For me, I want to die knowing that I left nothing on the table. That is the most important thing to me. Is did I live my life in a way that was the fullest version of me? Mm-hmm. Nothing was left on the table. I gave it everything I could. And that is so important to me. Mm-hmm. And I constantly think about having to reframe and shift behaviors and tendencies in my life to always be getting closer to not leaving anything on the table.
Has that always been a very high moral and standard for you? Or is there a point in life where you're like, it correlated to building into that?
I think it had to build into it, and it came with your earlier question, which was not wanting more out of life, but not feeling I needed more. I think it's really hard to say, I want to leave nothing on the table and I don't feel full in life yet, or I feel like I'm still like grabbing and reaching for things. I think that can come from a very toxic's not the right word. I think it can come from a place of needing and just kind of grabbing things. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was being very at peace with where my life was and what I had out of life. And knowing that there was a lot more to be accomplished. There's a lot more to do with this life. And it's just appreciating the gifts that you have. I think that's a lot of it. Understanding your gifts and what those gifts, where they can take you and what you're capable of.
How can someone understand those and take those?
I think there's a way to figure out what you're innately good at. Mm-hmm. And innately good at is, what is the thing that feels incredibly easy to you that is actually quite difficult and a quite high value thing? It's your zone of genius. Figure out what your zone of genius is, because that's the thing that you should probably pursue. And I know a lot of people say, pursue your passion. I actually think it's the opposite, where you figure out what your zone of genius is. And when you're naturally really good at something, it will become your passion. Mm-hmm. And when you can find that thing where you're just, everybody tells you this is so hard, and you're like, this is just actually quite easy for me. Mm-hmm. That's your thing. Do that. Do more of that. Do only that thing.
Makes sense too, because if it's already easy for you, you're going to excel and soak up more within it at the same token. And then everything else that you still are passionate about will be you're able to pour into both cups more. Yeah. Because you're already good at this one thing. Yeah. You're making money off of.
What's your zone of genius?
My zone of genius. I would say doing the thing that's hard, just turning off the lazy mindset per se, and just doing the thing that's hard to get the result that you want.
Damn. Yeah. That's a great zone of genius.
Thank you.
Doing hard things.
Yeah.
Okay. We're coming towards the end, and I think this is a perfect last question.
Okay.
Which would be, so given your zone of genius is doing hard things, what do you think somebody should do to be better at doing hard things?
Choosing to do the hard thing. I know that's such a cliche, low answer, but in the reality of everything, it is just a choice. You just have to choose to do it. Turn off the mind. You're going to enjoy doing it. Any time that I've done something that's really hard, as I make the choice, I don't want to. But when I'm in it, I love it. And I leave it, I'm like, wow, I am amazing. I feel good. I am her. Like, let's do more hard things. That's the result of doing hard things. It's just a choice of making yourself do it. And I think a lot of times when you're in it, you want to be there. So it's just the initial step of getting there that's hard. And it's all just the mind telling you it's hard. It's just a choice.
What's the hard thing you've been avoiding?
That's the question. That's a good question. Wow. asking myself and really figuring out who I want to become as the coach I am. I am who I am today within my career, but who do I want to become? I don't know. That's a question I've been sitting on for a while.
Well, when we do round 2, we'll find out.
Oh, cool. I loved being here.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.